all the platforms, unless this live cuts out early for some unforeseen reason or something, but potential the last bit of content of 2025, which is kind of nuts to think because in my head mentally it's like January wasn't that long ago, but here we are. I was a bit late. I was busy getting something filmed because I was like, I want something arrived and I want to unbox it and film stuff for it. But but I knew if I had immediately started streaming, that would have never happened. I would have opened it up on stream, but I also wanted to show it on stream. Pretty cool piece that I got in here. This is the Lego Star Wars minifigure pack from 2000. You know, this is one of four that I need to get, so go get the other three. Pretty cool. It's one of those. Usually, when I'm buying a used set, I don't I don't often look to try and get the box with it, but I had to make an exception with this. So it's now the oldest box in my set. You know, the box is so small, in my mind, it's justifiable. So, a couple things I'm going to do. I'm going to get like a hoodie or something because it's basically still winter. Of course it is. It's like the last day of December. But, you know, I did advertise this live as starting earlier than it did. And I thought it was going to be 7, and it became 7:30. And then it became like, 7:45. But I was charging my phone for a bit longer and filming that so we could go a bit longer on the stream. Because tonight is all about making progress. And, possibly tomorrow as well. Who knows? So I'm going to get something to drink. I'm also going to go get a hoodie or something. And we're basically just going to get right into what we're doing. I'll give people opportunity to join, but I'm going to have some YouTube on in the background. Because I was checking, right, with my previous live streams, and the ones that didn't get blocked just had YouTubers on in the background, so I'm allowed that.
Potentially coming with that set. Of course, it didn't come with either of those sets, but a couple of chances for Cloud City Boba Fett to not be anywhere near as special as he is considered to the community these days. I have that retailer catalog somewhere. I don't know where, and I'm about to turn out this entire room inside out and try to find it for this review. It's obviously not on any of my shelves. Like, it's not the sort of thing I would put on shelves, which means it's in one of my bins. But, like, I thought it was in, like, this bin, and it's just not. And it's not in any of those bins either. Just look there. I'm going to look again. But I'm about to start tearing through stuff, and honestly, I need to go through and clean and organize anyway, so it's a good opportunity to do that. And I'm not particularly grumpy because I want to keep working on other stuff, but I have
Hey there. But,
a shot of this
yeah.
for this review. So
the live streams are going to be moving from other platforms to here for a little while. I am, but quickly pause that while I talk. Actually, got some M&R Productions on the background, but I have noticed, hey, that how you doing? I did notice through, I noticed through the last couple of days that we've done this. I've done these 2 in a row because I've been on this. One second. I have noticed, right, for the last couple of these streams, because I've been on YouTube for 10 years, I've only started to really stream this year, there was demand for it. See what I'm saying? Oh, hey, Jake Doyle. Yeah, shout out to all you guys. Right, I'm going to get a drink. So, I'll be right back. And we're going to start, but basically, we're just continuing where we left off. I'm going to have to take all the stuff out that shelf. We're going to, once it's all removed, I'm going to be adjusting the shelf heights, but we did get all progress, putting that extra shelf in there on the live stream yesterday. So I'm going to get something to drink and I'll be right back. But this live should go quite late. I don't often, you'll notice I do it like in an episode type way. I don't know if there'll be more than one episode of this tonight. I don't usually do it, but tomorrow, because of it being the 1st of January, I don't have to go to work or anything, but there's nothing else really to do. So expect a really long live stream tomorrow. So I'll be back in about 2 minutes. Or maybe less. Who knows? I'll leave M&R Productions on in the background.
And now it's time to start digging for my 2006 retailer catalog, wherever that may be. I don't know. I thought I knew. I was in like one of those or one of those, and I don't see it. So this is gonna be fun. And by fun, I kind of mean not fun because I'm just surrounded by stuff because I haven't cleaned up very well lately. Oh God. I'm just so certain this was the bin of stuff it used to be in. I can visualize it. It's just not here. It's not this small. So it's like 2 postcard sizes, like on its face. So I know how big it is and everything. I don't see it. It's not here. It's not any of those. So I'm setting aside all the bins I've already gone through. That bin, maybe, but like not a lot in that bin. I don't see it. Just glancing. That bin up top, another maybe. We'll try those. Holding a bunch of old New England newspaper clippings here that my great-grandmother would send me. I found it. It's there. Right above my tax returns. It's there. And on page 48, we see some prototypey pictures of the B-Wing, the B-19, kind of just unpolished, unfinished, the Star Destroyer, the Slave One, and, of course, the Jabba Sail Barge, and also the Jabba Sail Barge, with a yellow Luke and Han.
Right, I'm back.
Of course, where is he? Cloud City Boba Fett. Now that I have what I need for my Cloud City review, I am going to continue cleaning up this space a little bit.
It's actually really cold this evening. I've got the heating and stuff on, but it's just in the kitchen there grabbing a can. And it is so windy, like proper, wind outside. So you may hear that in the background of this. Who knows?
Should use, let's see, it is right where I left it, a 3-in-1 super pack, all the final first stuff. So gotta get that one up there too, but it's a little far away.
Well, yeah. I'm just gonna take the camera over to the shelves. So we can pause that. And I'll kind of explain what the project's going to be. And I'll show you, I did show at the start of this, but I'll show you the pretty cool thing that came in today that I ended up buying. The other day, it's something I've looked at for about 16 years and considered buying, but always forgot existed. It's not something a lot of people talk about in the LEGO community that I've noticed. So let me show you what we've got. So, basically, the plan was these shelves would be reorganized. So yesterday, got myself this shelf here added in because these shelves are about £12 each for IKEA. You can just adjust them and whatnot. Easily done. So this shelf up here is going to be Empire Strikes Back. Now obviously it's all a mess right now because I've had to completely clear out all of this, and I'll get to that in a moment. But Empire Strikes Back will be here. It's got the Executor there, some Hoth stuff. Episode 4 will be here. We've got the Falcon, got all the Mos Eisley Cantina stuff, and the Tantive are in there. That'll be Revenge of the Sith. It's just, Palpatine's arrested in there. The original turbo tanks up the back there. I do apologize about the quality. To my knowledge, can I turn it on? To my knowledge, I cannot turn a flash on, so there's that. This will be obviously the Attack of the Clones shelf once I get around to sorting it. And this will be episode 1. And down there is kind of like gaming stuff, because I do a lot of kind of older gaming. But yeah, how long did it take? I've been collecting Lego. I've done it twice, right? So there was my original collection that I had between 2008 and 2014, and I had to restart in 2015. But over here, so the main part that we're going to do just now, right, is I'm going to take out this shelf and put it up to meet this one. And that's where I'm going to put Cloud City, right? I'll have this Falcon on Cloud City's platform, and then this shelf here is going to move up a little bit, and I think it's basically going to be accommodating like the gunships and stuff like that. This is a thing I was mentioning earlier that I picked up. It's a pretty cool set from 2000. It's a concept that Lego don't muck around with much anymore, but it was minifig packs with display cards. They did it for a couple of them. You've got Luke, Han, and Boba Fett, which is pretty cool. Unique minifigure, but fun fact, all of these did appear in other sets. Luke was in Jabba's Palace, Han was in the Cloud City set, and the Boba Fett appear in quite a few sets, but pretty cool pack there. There was more of them that existed. There was one with Sith, there was one with Chewbacca, and some Scout Troopers, and one that was all battle droids. So there'll be a video on here at some point in 2026 with all 4 of them. I'm going to try and find ones with boxes. I do really like the boxes that they came up for this. So yeah, all this will have to come out and go in places, so that's kind of the first thing. If you're wondering who I've got on in the background noise-wise, it's M&R Productions. I can't really have movies of that in the background because copyright, it would not work out, so there is that. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on. Just going to get a drink here and we'll get started. You can clear some things off the floor and whatnot as well, just to make this easier. Since I'm moving, these big Lego sets. I kind of want space to be optimized.
Just getting started here.
But it'll be a 2 to 3 hour stream.
I didn't think I could stack them like that, but they kind of look amazing stacked, so I think I'm going to keep it like that. So we got those. I think I'm going to go away with those boxes, especially because I already have the Boba Fett on display there, so it's a bit redundant to me. But we'll see what else I'm able to find to add up there, because there's a lot of space, especially with the roof space there. It's nice. Alright, spent plenty of time on it, and this room is now looking pretty clean. Austin's still working away on the Cloud City.
As part of this project, I've had things down here, so I'm moving those just to make this a tad easier for myself.
So, great progress today on this room. This room still going to need a lot of work. Now, what I can do with this room now, because I think a week ago I put up the doors there, is actually display some sets. So I think we're going to start doing that here. I'm very excited. I just still need to do the other 2 shelves so that I can be done with that. But they're ready to be displayed here, so it's just a matter of me doing the rest of the work. Alright, here's kind of...
Right, 3rd day in a row, and the live streams will be happening on here a lot more frequent than they ever have.
Comic-Con there, we got the Rex, a wonderful box, got the Corvette, and the Space Shuttle had to go there, along with the Maquettes, a couple basketballs, and the 3-in-1s. So, pretty cool display for now, pretty happy with it. It's a pretty tough area to like work with because there's like tables and things. I don't know what you can see up there. Like these are just in the way. There's not really anywhere else I can move them, so I have to work around it. I can't always put exactly what I wanted there, but I'm pretty happy with that. It works a lot better than the empty space did before, so I give it 1 thumbs up. Austin's trying to make Lego store plans. Yes. We're gonna go bowling right there. Bowling Saturday. Unfortunately, I haven't launched, so maybe he'll vlog his point of view, but he's going to go to that store on Saturday. You were going to get this one? Yes. Yeah.
Also, potentially going to put up some posters in this stream. Don't know yet. We're going to figure that out as we go.
But, yeah, one day maybe. It's $500, but you know what? At the end of the day, I wish I remembered what I paid for that. Oh, it's definitely worth $500, and it could have a gold C-3PO. Or you not know? You're not going to know. I don't owe anything. We can weigh them. Find out. Yeah. Anyway, Jared's putting together gingerbreads, and then I was cleaning up the space for him so Austin can film some shots and he can set stuff together.
Running some things around. Just gonna try to optimize the space and optimize where we're doing it in the stream, so I want it to work out quite well. But there'll be some live builds on here, which will be fun.
It's one of the few sets in my collection that I got used. It's pretty cool to see the catalog open with the set here and then the actual build set here and all the figures, but I am going to spend hopefully the next 40 minutes because it's 9:20 and Austin will get here at about 10. The next 40 minutes dusting this off. It looks really clean at a glance. Let me turn my flashlight on now. But getting up close and personal here, you can see it definitely is dusty. This is a set that I did not buy, brand new sealed, and then keep in a case. I cleaned it when I reviewed it back in 2018 or whatever, but I probably haven't cleaned it really since, and so there's just a lot of dust there. I also feel like something under here might be missing, so I was going to check back through the instructions because I don't feel like it should be blank in that spot. Like there's just a gap, so I wanted to check that as well. But
Sorry, I do get randomly distracted. That is a fun.
I think it's gotta be. Oh boy, the landing pad. Where's it at? It's gotta be in here. I should have looked for it yesterday when I was digging through everything else.
So we've got this tool here that I will be using. It's basically just a makeup brush, but this is what I use to clean the Lego, and I'll be using that as we go. But yeah, it's kind of a cool way to end 2025 on here is by doing the things. But yeah, can't believe this came in today. I wasn't expecting this to come till like the middle of January. But it motivated me to want to get the other 3 for Star Wars. I just don't know if I'd buy all of these for all the other things.
Like this, which is pretty cool. I feel like no one ever really talks about the fact that this set is modular like this, but also it looks a lot better when it's all together, to me at least. But anyway, I also would say that this is a really soothing thing. It's been a long time since I've sat down and dusted a Lego set like this. It reminds me of the good old days in a way. Yeah, definitely past that era in my life for the most part, but for a special set like this, I feel like it's...
Right, so I'm going to reposition the camera. I will be incorporating some of the cooler boxes in my display. Like this one, I think is just amazing. You can see the other themes like I showed off earlier that this was part of.
But it works. It's got the iPad set up with the monitor cam, so I don't have to like stare straight down while I'm recording. It's a little bit easier to look over there, so we'll kind of get that out of my way. And a little bit more room to move my hand too, but still this gets
right.
in the way.
So I'm going to try and find a good way to position you for this.
It kind of sucks sometimes, but...
So all this has to come off, and I'm changing the position of the shelving. So I'm going to take off the Monster Fighters Mansion. See if I can just slide this off neatly without it being a problem. It's a pretty cool set I've been showing off in the last couple of streams. So not only does it look like a modular house, but I mean, check the interior inside that. Pretty cool. I did a review on this a few months ago for Halloween.
Clearly, this Falcon was left to die, but today I've saved it. Austin's getting the rest of the pieces out for us so we can Frankenstein this thing back together. It's Saturday now, and we had actually planned a bowling trip for today. And Austin,
Right, so this is the Scooby-Doo Mansion set from 2015. It's a Lego line that I have talked about a few times, doing one big video of all the sets. And so far, within the last 3 years of me having that idea, I've bought 2. The other ones are really right cheap, and you can buy them all sealed. I've just never bothered. I've got this, and I've got the mystery machine, which is over here.
So he knows he's getting this, but we'll still give him that today. Everything else with Cloud City is done. I actually have to finish.
You put it here next to the mansion. I've just put those on the bed. It's probably the best idea I could come up with for those.
So we're actually gonna do that literally at the bowling alley. You gotta respect the grind, right? So we're on it. The real reason I really want to finish that.
Well,
is I do have some 2026 Star
what's
Wars
it? What is it?
sets coming in the mail today, so I kind of want to be done with the ongoing project before those show up. All right, we're here.
I mean, fair enough. For me, it's the builds is mostly where it's at, but there are some figures I do like. Alright, I got to move the UCS Slave 1 out of the way. Slowly.
They have little kids singing Christmas songs today.
Probably the best set they did this year, to be honest. Right, I'm gonna move that. That's gonna have to sit. It's gonna have to sit here. So one second. So this table I'm gonna have to move slightly. So that's actually the set's gonna go back on the shelf while I adjust where this is. That way it's not in my way as I'm moving everything around, and it works a bit better for me. I chose to rethink that. There we go. There we go. That has freed that up quite a bit, like very much more substantially. I'm still not looking forward to. Can I move it a lot more along the coaster here? Just every inch that it's out the way is a benefit, in like many ways. Right. Okay. It's probably as far as I'm gonna get it. Lift it out. Lift it out. Lift it out. There we go. Perfect. Put that down there. We're doing alright tonight for live viewership. Very happy. So we've got on the table there. There's some other stuff in here. There's the home one. There's Jabba's Palace. And then there's one of the worst sets to move ever. The B-Wing. The big UCS one. Got the AT-AT, which apparently was a victim there. Fell. Or it knocked over slightly. Right, let's put that over there on that shelf. Don't know if we'll get the shelves fully displayable and stuff like that tonight, but you know, maybe that's what tomorrow's stream could be for. But the Ewok catapult from 2009, that's just gonna sit up here. Do you know what? So the way it's a small build, kind of needs a little cart kind of thing you get from the 2005 Imperial inspection. Right, 2009 home one. Let's see how much fun this is. This set, one of those sets that can split. So it was our 10th anniversary set as well back in 09. Right. So if I move some of this stuff here off this table, can I get the B-Wing to sit there too, or am I just creating and yet again another hazard that I'm not gonna have any fun with? Let's find out. So the Jabba's Palace in there will be child's play, dude. But if you own and know this set, you'll know this set has structural problems and can be an absolute pain to deal with.
279. You think that's acceptable?
Yeah, that's pretty good, I think.
What is it, 202?
It's not 202. So Austin is in the bathroom, and I was gonna give Jared his gift first in front of Austin, but then I realized Austin would probably figure out that he's about to get something cool.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna give Jared his gift now since he saw it anyway.
Yeah, my bad.
Reminds me when I would sneak in my grandma's closet and find all my gifts in there.
The bowlers here, they think I'm a pro.
Yeah.
They asked me how many 300s I bowled before.
I don't know how, but I just managed to get that to sit on the table. That I am surprised at.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a look. Okay.
Right.
Jared is getting his
That's some effort.
first.
Over to you, Jared. You already knew you were here again. Wow.
I've recently got back into doing the Instagram from this, and I keep getting notifications like this, like crazy from this. It is doing really well, so if you're interested in the content, the Instagram is Captain Rice Production 72. It's Captain is underscore between each word.
That's Jared's Christmas gift. Plus a bonus $50 or something.
How'd you know this is the one I need?
Well, I asked Joey if there are any Lego sets you wanted. Oh, for Joey, I have this. Come over here, Joey. Come on over.
Oh my god,
These were just in the
nice.
bag. They gave them to me, so now that's yours.
Whoa.
And that's for you, Matthew.
Alright, so we've got. Oh, and a minifigure just made its way down that crack there, bro. We've got the original Jabba the Hutt. Ice tail. Oh, I had to be one there.
No, that's not mine. That's not the crease one.
Oh my god.
I should have switched them out though.
The Desert Skiff.
Appreciate that.
That would have been the move.
This is crazy.
I will need to borrow that to film box footage. I'm not opening it one bag at a time.
Oh my god. No way. What is happening right now?
I'll need to find the tail for that guy, 'cause I don't see it here. I think it fell down there.
Wow.
Which is not ideal. That is little gaps. It's not completely flush. But that's a design thing with the IKEA Ivars. So let's throw those figures on the bed. Got the original Sarlacc there. I'm going to throw that on the bed too. These live streams have been getting decently well considering I've not advertised them. We have advertised them on other platforms. And you know, you do get people who don't want to do the cross-platform thing, so it is appreciated.
$10 set. I want to know what I paid for that. And then we have the battle pack. So both together, very nice.
Undo the Rancor from there.
A letter from Mr. Elite Brick Force who sent me the shock trooper back. So thank you, Elite Brick Force. It's Merry Christmas and keep up the great content. Sincerely, your #1 fan. Yes, my Christmas special drops tomorrow. We're gonna be with part tomorrow. 12:21. I signed a slop trooper.
Jabba's Palace.
A signed slop trooper, EDF. Dude, thank you. That's sick. That's going to the collection for sure.
I don't know where the hell to put this right now.
Corey's here, and so is my brother.
There we go. I found a stable place for it. That works out quite well.
So these will wait a day. On the docket for today is get Cloud City put away and start reviewing these 3 sets. And what actually happened over the weekend. So we have the Cobb Speeder coming on Monday.
Take that out.
Make reviews of for the next 2 days.
That's another part to the Imperial Inspection set from 05.
Had all of the rest of the new Lego Star Wars sets early, and so I could drive there. It's 9 hours away. But I also
Push
have my
up.
buddy Rod, who lives there, so I texted him. I was like, "Yo, look!" And both him and I had never heard of the place. We hadn't come across it in our travels, doing toy store hunts. We've seen the vlogs in Birmingham, but he is going to go either today, Sunday, or
These
Monday.
corners
Shipped for Monday, but I'm kinda hoping he
are
gets it.
not fun to take out, and you're gonna see this on stream how fun they are, how not fun they are.
And I will have them on Tuesday, so I should have all the sets by Tuesday, which is December 23rd. So bad timing with Christmas coming up because I'll be working on reviews probably on Christmas, to be honest. We get these lights turned off, and we're gonna run up to Best Buy. I need to pick up a couple of gifts as well as I think I'm just gonna buy a new SD card just because I have so much footage. I don't want to spend the time clearing it off right now and figuring out what's good, what's bad. I have like 5 open projects.
Like I said, these are not fun to adjust, but it will be worth it when it's done.
SD card at Best Buy. 17 hours of footage here. Let's go. We are going to be knocking these out easy, and I won't have to delete anything off the SD cards. I have another SD card over here, but it is stuffed with footage. That's another ½ terabyte. So at some point, I got to go through them and clear them out, and figure out what footage goes where. Right now, it's a very busy time.
Oh, I don't like that noise.
So I thought it was just better to buy a new one while I was out and about. Anyway, I feel like I am back today, really energized.
Oh,
And I think we can easily knock out
that'll be
all
fine.
these reviews
This is all
today.
clipped in
I'll
and structured.
come help make them.
But they are not fun to do that with.
This used to be something I could do like without a thought, because I film everything on my iPhone. It'd be easy. But with the amount of B-roll shots we do these days, days. The only thing that's going to take a lot of time is we have to go to the office and get all the Mando on. So we'll do that probably when Austin gets here. But
Right, so
I'm pretty sure
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is getting pushed forward. That is a hazard being there.
This is for my summer 2024 trip. I was going to Boston. I stopped at the Toys R Us in New York at the American Dream Mall, and I bought this. Sealed the box still, and I needed a box to show for a side-by-side of the battle packs. And
Right,
I
sorted.
explain how stupid this battle pack is now. Well, this battle pack,
I did 9 down.
gone wrong,
1,
and it should have
2,
been
3, 4,
clones,
5, 6,
Mandos,
7, 8,
or
9.
second.
That way, at least Return of the Jedi and Empire have these long, flush shells where it'll look good.
And this is really what it should have been, but with better helmets.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Where we're at. Making good
6,
progress on this review.
7,
Having a good time ranting
8,
about these
9.
helmets on the Mandalorians, just inexplicable in so many different ways. And I'm about to start talking about the builds. I'm excited, but I'm nervous. Is that a good
1,
smile?
2, 3,
Yes.
4,
That's a
5,
good
6,
smile if I ever
7, 8, 9.
Oh, that's so cool. Alright, so I need the Grogu one, the AT-AT-58,
No. 1,
and the
2,
Venom.
3, 4, 5, 6,
And then
7,
I don't know
8,
if you wanted
9.
any for yourself, obviously, since I was paying you double retail, so if you just buy 2, I'll pay for the other ones, whichever way.
Alright.
If you don't want like the Venom,
So that's the
take the other Venom.
place for the pegs all figured out, so I just got to lift it up.
Stuff like that.
I probably want to get the Venator. I also want to get the fork burner speeder as well.
Okay.
That was like, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that one, but I may go ahead and get the fork burner speeder as well.
Okay.
They also have clear windscreen.
I have one of those already. I got that set aside for one day. I can't believe we never found this store. Some guy was telling me on Instagram, was like, found this all in Birmingham, Alabama. And I'm like, what? I've never seen that one. We've looked, right? Like, we've looked. So,
I don't know. I don't know how long the store's been open.
does it look new?
7 years?
So step back and take a minute and get a drink. Hopefully it doesn't decide to collapse during that time.
Wow. Yeah. Next time I'm up there, definitely gotta go.
We got 4+,
Beautiful haul.
Grogu, Venator, AT-AT BB-8. Then we got an extra AT-AT for giveaways.
Yes.
For giveaways.
Beautiful.
Alright, that's everything.
Yeah, I think so. Rod is obviously coming through with some of the new sets, so those will probably show up Tuesday because it's Sunday, so they can't ship today. It means they'll ship tomorrow, which means they'll show up Tuesday, which is Christmas Eve, so it gets a little hairy there. We're up here at the office, about to dig through all of these mini big bins to pull out one of every Mandalorian that I can find. Hopefully it's actually all of them for the review, but I think even if I was missing a couple, the point would still be illustrated just fine. But yeah, it's time to start digging into these. This is gonna be wild. Good progress so far. Got all the Mandalorian figures, I believe, up until 2018 here, because we're leading into 2019 with Mando. Something kind of looking row by row, trying to make sure I get them all.
I think those back ones need to come down a peg each, and then we should be golden.
Figure that out. I'm fairly comfortable that I have them all at this point. I also realized that the Moff Gideon armor is Stormtrooper armor, not Mandalorian armor, although it's my best armor, I guess. But I got that sorted out there, and so I'm fairly confident I have everything properly. It's a lot more figures than I think I was expecting, but I knew it was going to be a lot still, and I'm hoping I didn't miss any, but at the same time, I think this is honestly more than enough to illustrate my point. So, thumbs up. Got all the Mandalorian figures lined up here, except for the newest one. Also still working on the edit there, actually the shots for mech, but they look cool enough to give you guys a little extra shot here from behind the scenes, and actually I think I got these.
That looks funny.
This is how the shot is made today. This is how it had to happen. It's going to be panning with the light on the key objects, I think. It'll be kind of cool. And on every single LEGO Star Wars Mandalorian minifigure ever, since the year 2000, the first one they made, Boba Fett, with the pass-through visor to represent the black underneath, all of the visors for all of these figures has been the correct color. All right, we got that shot done. Also, it's going to be a joke on the light there. And then I was taking some pictures, but I think I'm good to tear this down. I just wanted to make sure I had everything I could want out of this, right? It's 1:45 a.m. and I've decided I need to crack open this for a single B-roll shot. I dug it out of the closet poly bag bin over here. But yeah, I'm going to get that. There are a couple of shots that I need tomorrow.
Try to make sure that, when you stand from a distance, it looks the way it should.
I think that's just a shot I need of the speeder on the shelf. I'm not going to get that done really quick, but yeah, I'm just trying to get this review So tomorrow I have as little work as possible. I cut through the audio.
That's
on this
clicked in.
review, and I think this guy is just driving up. I saw it on the map.
That's
So
clicked in.
like literally 10 seconds, and we'll have Cobb Van Speeder. So I gotta finish this audio.
Clicked in, and it's clicked in.
Cobb Van Speeder. I feel like the box is a little bigger than I expected, a little thicker, but yeah, it's still a small box for a $35 set. It's a small set.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We are gonna
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
This review will be done. I know it should have been one set, but also
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
At the same time, should have been both for 35.
Right, that's done.
My Cobb Van Speeder, I almost called it Cat Van Speeder review. It's 1 a.m. The package from Rod is supposed to arrive by 10 a.m. tomorrow, so I need to get some sleep. So I'm just quickly putting together the thumbnail.
Right, I'm now figuring out what I want to do with this one below it. Because that's the other thing we're doing, is we're just realigning sets.
8:19 on Tuesday.
Well, sure.
Christmas Eve, and my package arrived from Rod. It got wet at some point, probably fairly recently because it's still wet. Let's see.
Sit for a moment.
It just might be all right. Oh yeah, everything's gonna be just fine. Heck yeah. So I did also have Rod pick up a couple extra sets to do some giveaways on Whatnot. So kind of excited about that.
Well, that's all first, so this one will be next then.
And then I have an AT-AT.
So I'll figure out, right, if that a big enough gap to fit the UCS sets, because I'm going to try and make that tie in here. So lift it up.
As well as an extra Cobb
Yeah,
speeder
right,
bike,
okay.
another speeder bike to do giveaways with. We've also got BB-8. Just doing all the boring B-roll shots right now. It's point
Go
camera
put this
and
back
holding.
gently, because I don't want to
Thing.
hit the B line too harshly, because that's on the table. I don't want to cause any problems with that.
Excited about this one. The perfect vendor. Finally. In the version 2009. It's a good playset, but honestly, not that good. Then you have the UCS one, which at the very least, you got to recognize the stickers on it are abysmal, let alone its other issues that I find it to have. And then, yeah, you have this, which is just perfection. So I just posted the Venator review. Took me most of the day to finish up, but I am very happy with the finished product. I think it's a fantastic review that covers everything you can possibly need to know about the Venator. Currently got it on display here where the invisible hand was, but I'm going to switch it out because I feel like the invisible hand fits there better just because of the size of it. Like that's just a little too big in there. So I want to try to find another spot for it, maybe in one of the more open. Maybe I'll replace the
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Christmas or something. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna head up to Orlando Brico because I'm receiving a very special item that was purchased for me at auction. Very excited about that. And then these are
1,
the
2,
3 sets I'm
3,
still gonna
4,
have left to
5.
review. I'm gonna knock this one out tonight because I can definitely do that before midnight. Like it's just so easy and simple. And Austin already did the intro before he left for Christmas break. So get the intro done on that. The rest of the review is so easy because it's such a stupid little set. I mean, it's a great set. I think it's fantastic for it. So let me rephrase that there. But then I'll do these 2 reviews tomorrow. I think this one might take the longest just because it's so much like stuff to talk about. I don't know. They'll probably be about the same amount of time to be honest. But I'm very excited to build those as well. But yeah, you guys might be very keen to find out what Noah has brought me. So let's go find out. It's Orlando Brico at night. The vibes are always immaculate. This is their store
1,
selection
2,
just
3,
before
4,
Christmas. It is stocked. Definitely some sets missing that were here last time from what I can see. A lot of the big ones up there look like they're still there, but I also don't keep great track of what comes in and what goes out. But yeah, still a ton of stuff here. And they are getting a lot of rare stuff soon. I don't think it's here.
I have been dehatted. Yay!
I already have that, hopefully. I do need that otherwise, how much is it?
Right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I brought another thing. Show the other thing.
So that should be there
Okay.
then.
You gonna propose to Joey? I mean, maybe.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And on the 11th is where that one should be. So come down by 11 on there.
Wow. This is what Noah brought over.
This will be the last shelf adjustment I need to make.
It was on the phone as he was bidding for me. It is one of 60 goats.
1,
that
2,
say 10
3,
fan
4,
media days
5,
give to
6,
Lego
7,
Ambassador
8,
Network
9.
members. Unfortunately, my membership expired, so I didn't get this one for free. But I felt like I had to have it. I
Yo!
don't have it forever or anything,
That is not fun having that there. I cannot wait till I fix that problem.
It's a glued together model, one of 60, like I said. So it's also like a really cool rare Lego piece. So maybe someone will pluck it out of my hands one of these days that wants it more than I do. But for now, it's in my collection, and I think I'll add it to the background at some point. But yeah, I gotta maybe rewrite what this says or something. I don't know. I'll figure something out because this can be easily attached. It's like one of the only pieces that isn't glued, actually. And I could actually print something else on there if I wanted to. But anyway, that's pretty cool. I didn't end up recording much more for the vlog as I reviewed all of the sets, and Christmas also came and went. But this is the January wave, and I have actually just put it together for this little outro bit. And yeah, it's pretty mixed. It's crazy how small a lot of the sets are. I'm pretty sure my math is right, but I think all of this altogether costs $338. And I think, like, on an individual level, whether or not you think any of the sets are overpriced or whatever, when you look at all of that, you say $338. I think that tells the story more than any individual set does. That is absurd as I look at the layout of it all. So
We should sit for a moment, watch the end of this, and then figure out what I'm doing with this.
it's been a little while since I've done a wave overview. This is a really easy one for me to make. Get my feet wet again. Not in socks, so hopefully that's always not a good time. But yeah, all the reviews except for BB-8 are done. So I actually still gotta finish that one up. But that's the last 2026 January review I have to do, other than the poly bag, which I don't have yet, and I don't know when I'll be able to get because it's one of those weird releases that's hard to track down at first for a lot of people. But yeah, this room is an absolute disaster from having like made all these reviews. So maybe in the next vlog we'll do a little bit of a cleanup. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this.
Some time ago, I found out that on the Xbox 360, it was possible and much easier to make a wheel detach from a vehicle than on PC. I checked it out and it was true. Furthermore, player opinions online clearly indicate that the damage model was indeed downgraded in other versions of GTA 5. Whether the PC version or those released on later console generations that came after the Xbox 360 and PS3. Recently, an incredible mod for GTA 4 also came out, Fusion Fix. I keep on going on about it all the time, but that's because when modders create a work of art, in my opinion, it's worth giving it some spotlight. Fusion Fix fixes a whole bunch of bugs in the PC version that often didn't exist on console versions, PS3 and Xbox 360. Why am I talking about all this? Well, that's just how it is with Rockstar. They're infamous for, unfortunately, constantly breaking their games when porting them to new platforms. GTA 5 is no exception. You can really find quite a lot of things that, back in 2013, when the game released on consoles, simply worked better. First, we'll go through a series of individual things that are missing in newer versions. These are completely exclusive to the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions. We'll start with the fact that right next to the satellite dishes and sandy shores, in the original versions, scientists and FIB agents would spawn, along with a unique black unmarked bucket, which couldn't be obtained anywhere else. In later versions, only the scientists remained, and the car was replaced with a white van. If you look closely, news agents in newer versions of GTA 5 do have their tactical goggles, but for God knows what reason, because they never actually use them. They're just sitting on top of their helmets. In the original versions, news officers wear their goggles over their eyes, which, as you might imagine, makes a lot more sense, since they're not just a pointless decoration there. Another thing applies exclusively to the very first version of GTA 5 on PS3 and Xbox 360, the version untouched by any updates. On Vespucci Beach, you could originally come across a sculpture modeled after a real-life artwork. Later on, it was replaced with some weird, rusty, and rather unattractive thing. Apologies to art experts if I'm wrong. Either way, this happened because the creator of the real sculpture on which the original was based probably didn't want their work to appear in GTA 5. Let's keep going. Rain. First of all, it's much more visible and denser on the Xbox 360. But that's still not the main thing. What really knocks you off your chair is a certain effect that simply doesn't exist in later versions. During a downpour, you can see these clouds of rain in the air being pushed by the wind. The effect is fantastic, especially because this is exactly what you see in real life during this kind of weather. It's windy and pouring, so the wind can push and toss entire clusters of raindrops while they're still in the air. Overall, it looks really impressive, and on PC, there's nothing like it. In GTA Online in old consoles, and only on old consoles, there was a window tint option called Pure Black, which, as the name suggests, made the car windows completely pitch black. In later versions, this upgrade evaporated. The culprit was the first-person camera. Playing in first person, the player simply wouldn't be able to see what's happening outside. This, of course, is unrealistic, because in real life, tinted windows work asymmetrically. From the outside, the vehicle interior remains invisible, while the driver and passengers can see outside without any problem. In this effect wasn't implemented, so fully black windows completely blocked visibility from the first-person camera. To deal with this, the pure black option was simply thrown in the trash. In the prologue funeral scene, if we take a closer look at Dave Norton, the agent who made it possible for Michael to fake his death, we quickly noticed that he looks different on 7th generation consoles than he does today. Back then, he wore sunglasses and didn't have a hat on. Honestly, I have no idea what possessed them to change this. Dave, in the original version, looked exactly like he should. You know, like some shady little agent with access to money. Like, seriously, think who Dave is. But in newer versions, he looks more like some hopeless old geezer who just escaped from a retirement home.
We're gonna have to fully readjust that. That's not gonna work out.
PS3 and Xbox 360 also looks more realistic than it does now. Maybe this comes down to the way textures were scaled to resolution, but the cracks there are thicker and more pronounced, which better conveys the look of damage. They're closer to what we'd get in the real world. In reality, car windows are designed to be very hard to shatter, and if they do break, they're meant to crumble into small fragments. That's why cracks usually form a dense, irregular structure, rather than looking like a smashed drinking glass. Some time ago, someone told me that a C4 stuck, for example, to a car's bumper would explode if we started hitting that bomb and bumper against, say, a wall. I checked it out, but without a positive result. But it turns out that the verdict would be completely different if I had been verifying this on a console, because there, as you can see for yourselves, the effect is entirely different. And from what I also read online,
try and get that out.
in reality, C4 type charges do not detonate from impacts or shocks. They require a detonator. So good old common sense fails here. Paradoxically, then, the PC versions behaves more realistically. Although, to be honest, I personally prefer the more gameplay-friendly option we have on Xbox 360 and PS3. Another thing that was potentially removed because of the first-person camera is how characters hold the phone during conversations when they're in cars. In newer versions of GTA 5, characters don't hold the phone up to their ear. They talk as if on speakerphone. Maybe that's actually a good thing. The game isn't reinforcing bad habits, especially since, supposedly in the United States, as we can read on the website of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, quite a lot of people die on the roads because of phone usage. Another element that was toned down in 8th generation versions is the intensity of certain visual effects. This includes the drunk effect, being high, as well as the effects accompanying Trevor's rampages. Moving on, I get a strong impression that the basic rectangular shadow under vehicles is also more pronounced in the 7th generation versions. A similar impression applies to car headlights and lighting in general. I don't know if it's just in my head, but they really seem to stand out more and give the overall impression that the light is simply more intense. I have a similar suspicion regarding the screen shake effect during very fast driving. If there is a difference, it's subtle. But one thing that can definitely be said is that on 7th gen, you feel the speed much more strongly.
I'm trying to fix it like an old devil that was in there has become stuck and broke. So
Another element is the effect of pupils narrowing when looking toward the sun. To avoid absorbing excessive amounts of light, eyes automatically constrict the pupils, making the surroundings appear darker. Very realistic.
excuse me.
Clearly visible in 7th generation versions, and much less noticeable in newer releases. So you can see a certain pattern in all of this. Many elements lose intensity with the release of subsequent versions of GTA 5. And now, a small curiosity. Confederate flags were removed from the game and replaced with the United States flags, or removed entirely depending on the version. A similar move was also applied in the Trilogy Remaster, which, first of all, obviously goes against the controversial nature of GTA, and second, is probably a pretty big downside for hardcore opponents of censorship. Something that is also a recurring pattern
I'm
on
getting
7th generation
dehydrated.
consoles, certain events in the game would happen more often than on later ports. Probably the most commonly reported example by players is Los Santos Airport. More specifically, how often you can witness a plane taking off or landing. In later generations, this happens much less frequently than on 7th gen. During my tests on the newest version, over the course of 10 minutes, the only thing I witnessed was a single plane landing, but it spawned directly on the runway, and then started partially sinking under the map. Theoretically a minor detail, but it's exactly these kinds of small things, like plane takeoffs, begging homeless NPCs, or jets flying over the military base, that make the game feel like its world is alive. So any regression in this area is simply a downside, especially since this doesn't apply only to planes. Other things are also more or less reduced. For example, when I was testing various things...
Oh, that wind is definitely picking up. You can hear that quite a lot more now. Maybe because I'm closer to the end of the wall.
Other players notice that on Xbox, the frequency of patrols is higher, and the places in which they appear is simply larger. For instance, near that homeless town close to Paleto Bay, I don't remember, and I also didn't experience it during my PC tests. for Patrol to appear there, whereas on Xbox, absolutely yes. Another thing from this category, also related to Paleto Bay, has to do with trucks. On the 7th generation version, especially when driving along the highway around Paleto Bay, semi-trucks with unique cargo constantly appear on screen. Sometimes the cargo is logs, other times containers, sometimes gasoline, or regular trailers with various logos. The most interesting ones are definitely packers, meaning trailers designed to transport large numbers of cars. On the current version, these things do spawn, yes, but quite rarely.
So I'm going to put this, I don't think that's going to work out. So here's what I'm going to try. I'm going to take the slave one, which is the tallest thing here, put it in, see how much room I can move this shelf down by.
Massive cargo, and so on. Wood cargo makes even more sense, since there's a sawmill nearby. It's a bit of a shame. Immersion on PC is simply worse in this regard. By the way, I noticed another thing, again related to spawn frequency. On Xbox, every time I flew over the
Trying to figure out how well this is going to work out.
airplane spawn. On PC, this happened only once, and I flew through there about 7 or 8 times. So generally, something is definitely going on here. Some percentages were changed here and there, which results in significantly fewer of these various interesting things happening in Los Santos and Blaine County. It appears that some negative changes were also implemented in how the police handled themselves behind the wheel. On 7th generation consoles, police officers are incredibly good at making it hard for us to get through. On screen right now, you can see how quickly the cops change direction to block our path. In the enhanced version, they seem less responsive and easier to outmaneuver. And since GTA 5 is a rather easy game, any added difficulty is quite important here. The easier the game is, the less difficult in gameplay, the easier it is to nod off. So in the case of the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions, I definitely count this aspect as a plus. Let's return for a moment to what was mentioned at the beginning of this video, the vehicle damage model. This is the most spectacular precisely on 7th generation consoles. It shows in several areas, the frequency of wheels falling off, various body parts detaching, and the deformation of the car's body itself, especially the cockpit, which on PC is basically untouchable. All of this was done to make room for the first-person camera, which, let's remember, didn't exist on 7th generation consoles. Too strong deformation of the bodywork, and especially the cockpit, could easily collide with an interior vehicle camera. Unfortunately, instead of properly solving these issues, Rockstar simply toned down the damage model so that such glitches wouldn't occur at all. In my opinion, a better solution would have been to disable the first-person camera when the cockpit undergoes heavy deformation. Most players don't smash their vehicles to bits all the time anyway, and those who do usually don't use the first-person camera. Because, after all, these kinds of destruction look funny, and to laugh at them, you need to play in third-person view. Now, listen up. Here's, in my opinion, probably the most crucial thing, which I honestly think is almost deliberately messed up in every PC port of the series: the color palette. GTA 3, GTA VC, and especially GTA San Andreas all had the same issue. On the PS2, the games ran on colors that perfectly matched the vibe of each title.
Alright, I'm going to try the adjustment then.
GTA 3 with its greenish-blue rains, Vice City with that beautiful yellow midday glow, and probably the most iconic of all, the almost otherworldly orange sunsets in GTA San Andreas. And on PC, total disaster. GTA 4, same story. Recently, in one of my videos, I discussed the Fusion Fix and what it improves. One of the main points I highlighted was the color palette. Again, it was completely botched on PC. And with GTA 5, we see the exact same thing. Of course, this isn't just my personal opinion. Online, players complain about the same issue. The color palette on 7th generation consoles is absolutely wonderful. You could even say it changes the entire experience of GTA 5. It's technically the same game, but the colors make the experience feel more intense. Your perception gets a nice little boost from them. In some shots, the game even looks more Hollywood. You know, more like those old Los Angeles films where the colors are highly saturated. It literally makes everything look more interesting. Trees, the sky, the streets, everything looks more alive. Beyond just the vibe, colors also make more elements to stand out. Comparing this version to the current one, I felt that in the newer version, it's much easier to get the impression that everything blends together. There's also that bluish-gray haze that accompanies gameplay, which
Ooh, that was not fun to do, but I think I've got it
kind of dusty.
almost.
I'm not really sure how to describe it. In the enhanced version, it's a bit less noticeable, but on 7th gen, everything looks how it should. Haze is subtle, cleaner visuals, and the colors are sharper and more natural. So yeah, on Xbox 360 and PS3, the game gives the impression that everything fits together. Every element feels right. and the contrast is much better balanced. Playing GTA 5 on Xbox 360 reminded me why I love this game in the first place. It had a vibe much closer to the older GTA titles. Of course, graphically, GTA 5 Enhanced is incredible, but with all those graphical upgrades, many elements that contribute
Just about
to the
done.
atmosphere, which I
I've
just
got
described,
some things here.
got thrown out. Now, let's briefly look at something that ties into the previous point. I'll show you two locations, the Vapid car dealership in southern Los Santos and the entrance to the hospital roof in Strawberry. Only on the 7th generation version is it clear that developers actually created simple interiors for these locations. On PC, they exist too, but honestly, you really have to look closely to notice them. On an Xbox 360, when you drive past, it immediately jumps out at you. Other things worth mentioning, GTA 5 on 7th gen consoles gave an incredible sense of the world's vastness. You truly felt like an ant in it. The HUD in these versions was far more distinctive. The colorful map, the radar with a border, and a much more pleasant weapon wheel design. I won't dwell too much on it because you really have to see it and compare for yourself. The wasted and busted effects also sounded more serious and dramatic than on PC. The sound on 7th gen consoles just feels heavier, like something genuinely bad happened. On PC, it's a casual noise that doesn't convey the same weight of the situation. The driving model also
So what? Since it is New Year, I may actually split this into two.
drifting feels more satisfying, and navigating city streets or rural roads feels more natural. On PC, cars don't handle that, but they feel a bit stiff, and it's hard to feel that natural momentum that you should get, especially when driving those fast cars. Let me know if today I've convinced you to revisit or check out the Xbox 360 or PS3 version. And for those of you who've played GTA 5 on PS3 or Xbox 360, be sure to share whether your impressions match mine. Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks to everyone supporting me. Take care and see you next time. Bye.
GTA 5 isn't only one of my favorite games ever, but is also one of the most popular video games of all time, with a long history now spanning over 11 years. And as we all get ready to head back to Vice City in 2025, I've spent the last 6 months creating my own iceberg in hopes of capturing all the best moments from the single player and online. Some topics you may have heard from the original iceberg, other stuff I removed, but a lot has been added, so I guarantee you'll learn something new from this list. If you're new to an iceberg chart, topics that everyone should know are at the surface level, and as you go further down, the topics become more obscure and unknown. So, without any further ado, this is the definitive GTA 5 and online iceberg. Enjoy. Snowfall. Every year during Christmas, it snows across Los Santos for a few weeks. This has been happening since 2013, and the snow actually has some effects like making roads slippery when driving. A lot of people in my comments think that Christmas time in GTA is one of the best times to play the game and is very reminiscent for a lot of players. So I thought it fitting to be the first entry on this iceberg. Secret vehicles. Within online and the story mode, there are a ton of rare and unique vehicles you can find, like the Slam Van, Space Stalker, Skylift, Rusty Tractor, and many others. Some of these vehicles can no longer be acquired, especially in online, and others take a ridiculous amount of time to grind in order to obtain. The iFruit app. The iFruit app was a companion app released alongside GTA 5. It had two main features, the Los Santos Customs and Chop Training. Chop Training was a fun game where you could train, feed, and play with Chop, and had 3 mini-games you could play as well. And the Los Santos Customs was exactly that, Los Santos Customs on your phone. But probably the main feature that a lot of people used this for was the license plate editor. While the app was
Try to make sure it still doesn't look right to me.
in 2022, and the license plate editor was the only thing that Rockstar kept, adding it to their website instead. The Altruist Camp. The Altruists are a cult located on Mount Chiliad that blames the rest of the world for its problems. These guys are really weird. They walk around naked, they hate technology but have a website, and live closed off from the rest of the world in this small community. In the campaign, Trevor has the option to bring random people there for a reward, but nothing else is really known about them. The Mile High Club. The
Mile High Club is this building in the middle of the city, and one that famously refuses to be finished. Even after 11 years and all the other changes Rockstar has made to the map, like the casino and online, for example, this building has been left completely untouched since long. There is a theory for this, however. There was a mission in the campaign where Franklin is tasked with stealing the blueprints to the building from an architect, leading many people to believe that this is why the building has never been finished.
It's finally in. It's finally a level. It took a little while.
With the success that GTA Online has garnered, it's no secret that modders have targeted that game more than others. GTA Online
So,
has had an insane cheating
I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this, because I'm going to get the sets in there on this stream.
Rockstar did almost nothing about it.
So there's the UCSB wing, the UCS Wave 1, the castle, and the Monster Mansion.
PC and even track your IP address, which was very easy with peer-to-peer connections. However, in
We'll get the Slave 1 in first, because it's one of the tallest ones.
finally added an anti-cheat.
Well, can I go like tallest to smallest? That's kind of how I should probably do it.
While it's not perfect, it did help the modding problem quite a bit. So thank you, Rockstar. North Yankton. Ludendorff, North Yankton is the snowy town where the prologue.
As much as I'd like, sorry, as much as I'd like to have the UCSB wing be with the other Return of the Jedi stuff that will be up here, that's not going to work out. So let's get it. It's there's not enough space between the ceiling and the ship, if that makes sense.
In fact, this scene is so iconic that Franklin and Lamar's voice actors even recreated the scene in real life. Alien weapons. Whether you love them or hate them, GTA Online has become overrun with alien and futuristic weapons. The Railgun, Widowmaker, Oppressor Mark II, DeLorean, etc. These vehicles and weapons have been a hot debate in the GTA community.
Right, let's get that fully pushed in and stuff like that. But I will make a part 2 to this tonight.
Including myself.
Oh, sorry, another episode I'll probably say with a better word for it.
UFOs. There are so many UFOs that can be found in GTA 5. One at the top of Mount Chiliad, one above the hippie camp, at the bottom of the ocean, and a bunch more. They've even started spawning in GTA Online, a part of the Halloween
Oh,
event
no.
You can't actually do anything with them, but they are still one of the most iconic Easter eggs in GTA 5 and even Rockstar's history. Cayo Perico. Cayo Perico is, as of making this video, the only map expansion we've got in GTA Online and even has its own dedicated heist. The island is believed to be based on the...
I'll take the camera over and show you once I get all the sets in.
And while the island was very cool and fun to explore, Rockstar did not make it easy on us, as the island is filled with guards that will send you back to the start if you ever get caught. And as a side note, whichever dev thought the indestructible plants was a good idea needs to be fired immediately. Bigfoot. It wouldn't be a GTA 5.
Right, where is that cleaning thing? I think I used to clean my sets.
The longest running myth of the entire GTA franchise, dating all the way back to San Andreas. But
Found that.
GTA 5, the myth somewhat became...
Those other 2 sets I've already put in, I did clean yesterday, so we're kind of fine, but I'm just going to clean the Monster Fighter's house again.
Complete the game, you finally discovered that the Bigfoot that people have been searching for all these years was actually just a man in a suit. You could also become Bigfoot as well. By collecting all 27 peyote plants scattered around the map, you must wait for certain conditions to appear before you're able to find the final 7 golden peyotes. Following all of the steps for those will turn you into the real Bigfoot.
Right, we'll get the Monster Fighter's house in next, because that's kind of one of the ones I want to be up front.
To rest, but something tells me we haven't seen the last of him just yet. Mount Chiliad. Mount Chiliad is both the tallest mountain in GTA 5 and is by far the biggest mystery in the entire game. At the top of the mountain,
I'm going to clean the Scooby-Doo set and then we'll get it in, and then I'm going to decide whether or not this will continue too much longer.
While nothing has been found after all this time, it is most likely that this is because the rest of the Easter egg was supposed to be revealed in a single-player DLC that we never got. And this content was instead repackaged into online DLC. We technically have no way of confirming this, but it is by far the most reasonable explanation that we have. Tier 2, the Epsilon program. The Epsilon program
I have, haven't I? I put it down.
as
and threw it down
so much
again or
history
something.
in the
I do
GTA
this
franchise
all
that
the
I
goddamn
can't
time
even
whenever I'm
begin
cleaning
to
sets.
summarize it all here.
I am
In GTA 5
ridiculous for
and
this.
online,
Oh, there it
however,
is.
they brought up quite a bit.
Funny.
You can even have a cutscene when you die for the first time in online.
That's just at an hour.
Player, however, Michael can complete some tasks for them in order to become an Epsilonist and acquire some sick-looking Epsilon robes. And that's all I'm going to leave it at. I am going to leave a video down below, however, by Fishy, who went fully in-depth into this cult and its origins. So
Funny that guy was talking about like the other ports and how the original gen of Grand Theft Auto
Laszlo Jones
was
has been an
different.
on-radio personality in the GTA
So I've actually
franchise
recently picked up the
since
PS3, which is the only console I've never actually played the game on.
was the first
So it'll be kind of
time
fun.
that we actually got to meet Laszlo in game. Played by Jeffrey Crawford Laszlo Jones, Rockstar co-chairman of production at the time, it's very likely that this will be the only game where we get to meet him, as Laszlo left Rockstar Games in 2020 and joined Dan Houser's new company Absurd Ventures a year later, The Lost Hatch. At this spot on the map underneath the water, you can find a hatch with a glowing light that is a direct
That looks
reference to the
brilliant.
show Lost. A great show, by the way, I highly recommend. If you swim down to this hatch, you can hear
Oh, that is
on the
perfect.
door from
Right.
inside. If you
It's got the
translate
gunships
this
in
from
too.
the Morse code, it says, "Hey, you never called. How do you fancy going bowling?" Clever reference to Roman in GTA 4, always annoying the player about going bowling.
Nico, it's Roman. Let's go bowling.
Red Dead. In Franklin's house, you can find a book on his shelf called Red Dead, written by Jay Marston. This is a nod to Red Dead Redemption's Jack Marston, who stated multiple times that he wanted to write novels when he was older.
I thought you wanted to be a writer. Rocky, rich industrialist who writes novels about the old west on the side.
Heart Attack. In single player, if you keep running even after your stamina has run out, you will slowly run out of health as your character holds his heart, and continuing this will cause your character to fall over. Bermuda Triangle. This obviously refers to the world border.
Alright, I didn't actually know that.
Far out in the map,
It's a cool
any
fact.
boat or plane you are in will just shut down or explode, stopping you from going any further. Phasing. There are hundreds, if not maybe thousands of spots in Los Santos where you can phase through the wall. Some spots allowed you to stay inside the walls for a bit, but most of them would just make you fall
So,
into the void.
I'm going to put my gunships in there. I still need to build the drop ship, which will be our session on here. And then that'll go in there with them.
You can find an alien frozen in the ice underneath this bridge. This is probably one of the first major Easter eggs I remember being found when the game came out. And after all these years, we still have no idea how he got there. Whale skeleton. At the bottom of the ocean, you can find two instances of a massive skeleton. When this was first discovered in 2014, people believed it had to be the skeleton of a giant sea monster, but it was later found out that it was nothing more than the skeleton of a long-perished whale. The ghost of Mount Gordo. If you head to the top of Mount Gordo between the hours of 11 p.m. and midnight,
Testing this off, so this stream will end very soon, but I have decided to be generous. I wasn't going to, but given the way things are going, we're making progress, I'm having fun. We will make another episode tonight.
Off the side of Mount Gordo because she wouldn't allow Jacques to live out his dream of becoming a famous stuntman in Los Santos. Roleplay servers. GTA 5 roleplay servers have been a huge phenomenon.
So we got the gunships in there, that's perfect. And of course, Cloud City will go in here. But I'm not going to do that this instant. I don't think I am.
Huge help to keeping GTA 5 relevant in the content space, to the point where Rockstar actually acquired the team behind the biggest server, 5M, earlier last year. Judging from their success, it's almost certain that Rockstar will add these to GTA 6 as well. Refund. Since GTA 3, you have been able to do what's referred to as a prostitute refund. This is essentially requesting a woman's services, and then once it's over, you immediately end them to get your money back, a feature that is quite well known in GTA today. The Infinity Killer.
Right, here's what we'll do.
Are a bunch of references to someone having killed
I'll get a snack, right?
newspaper clipping from 2004
And then I'll decide if we're going to continue doing more or if we'll wait for another part.
Sent to jail for killing 8 men. Another message in us that the supposed
I also will say that, you know, battery percentage is going to play a part in that.
sent to prison. And when we go and look, we can find a
Yeah.
and an image that leads us straight to where we can find 8 bodies scattered around these small islands. It's believed that the Infinity Killer has references in both RDR2 and GTA 4 as well, and despite the way I just described it, this mystery is still believed to be unsolved. Niko Bellic. Niko Bellic, the protagonist in GTA 4, doesn't make an appearance in GTA 5, but is referenced many times during the campaign.
All those Irish crazies, they mostly just disappeared. That crew from the south, they all went down. There was an Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City. He went quiet.
Abandoned Mineshaft. This abandoned mineshaft in Great Chaparral is a very cool but strange hidden location. After blowing the doors off, you can explore quite far inside. There is a blocked off entrance on one side, and at the very end of the tunnel, you can find the body of a man dressed like he's in the 1920s. There is more info related to this mineshaft and the body found inside later on this iceberg, so I will just leave it at that for now. Either way though, it's a very unique spot on the map. Exploding skies. Have you ever been loading into GTA 5 and you hear an explosion in the clouds? Well, it was discovered that in the single player, this sound happens when the NPC pilot of a plane despawns, causing it to crash somewhere in the distance, hence the
I should never have dropped that. Anyway, I've made a choice on whether or not we're continuing for tonight, and we will make a part 2. Or, I keep saying part 2. We'll make another episode tonight. But there we go. We've got a big bit of progress done. Look at all that. It's all lined up and organised. Yeah, it took me an hour, but sometimes these things take a while. But the next one, I'll be up tonight. I'll probably in like a couple hours. It's just coming for 9 o'clock, so... Do you know what? I'll be back around 10ish. See you later.
After acquiring